Hi and welcome to this week's Friday with me, Billie Mcloughlin. It is fantastic to be back after a short break to have my wonderful baby boy. But oh my gosh, what a 3 months it's been. And I don't mean knee deep in nappies. I mean the world of artificial intelligence, which has just had the most exponential boom. So with that in mind, that's what I'm here for, to keep you abreast of all the headlines and what they mean for our industry as accountants, bookkeepers, and finance professionals. This week, I wanted to start with the news of Sora, which is OpenAI's video creation tool. And the reason I wanted to start with this is because it really does show that there is a huge increase in curiosity, willingness to use, and excitement around artificial intelligence. That's because Sora reached 1 million users in just 5 days. That blew ChatGPT's record out of the water, and that is just on Apple. So it's open on iOS. It's not actually available on Android yet, but you can pre-register if you're interested. I think this is really telling of a trend that we're seeing. So video's been around for a very long time. YouTube, we know the statistics in terms of how many millions of hours are watched every single day. But I feel like this is really going to fire us down this route of video being everything. So our clients, our team members, they will get information, they will get education, they have entertainment all through video. And for that reason, I think it's something that we need to be aware of and certainly on board with. And that could be around whether we start creating videos for our practice, to do educational content for our clients, as opposed to just big emails with text, or just being aware of it for our clients for their marketing purposes. All I'm saying is we have to have our clients' expectations at the forefront of our mind, and what they're doing outside of their accountancy world and business world will definitely impact their business, their finances, and everything in between. So with anything, the opportunity does bring a huge risk, and we know all about deepfakes already. These are just going to become more prevalent because they're easier to do. These could be replicating people within your business, they could be replicating your clients, they could be replicating bank officials to ask your clients to transfer money, and it's something that we all need to be aware of for sure. Not only that, but depending on what industry your clients are in, we have to consider that we could create fraudulent pictures before, and if we go back a few years, you could have the likes of Photoshop to create a certain scene. Well, now we can do that using video, which makes it feel more believable. So if your client has a manufacturing business and they get a video from a client that says, this is damaged, how do we not know that that video of the item is not AI? How do we know that they haven't created this through some means of Sora, for example, and therefore fraudulently claiming refunds that they shouldn't be? These are all things that maybe seem far-fetched now, but trust me, in the future, they're going to be really apparent. We've seen this already with receipt capture tools that can detect when AI is being used, and I think we just need to be more aware of it and have some safeguarding in place for our team members, and also some education and security in place for our clients as well. Talking of client industries, if you've got any in e-commerce, this is pretty cool. Google have upped their game with their virtual try-on tool. So if you haven't seen this, this is a way that you can upload a picture and it respects the material of the items you're browsing to see how they would look on you. They don't just overload a picture and say, here's a shirt and this is what it would look like on you. They actually make it mold to your body type with the right material and fabric. Now they're taking it one step further for all the shoeaholics out there. No need to be uploading pictures of bare feet. If you upload a picture of yourself in a pair of shoes, it can replace them with the ones that you're browsing on the internet. Well, why is this important, I hear you ask? It's got nothing to do with accounts. It actually has everything to do with accounts, because if you have clients that are in e-commerce and they could access a tool like this, their returns costs could reduce. So we see that being on the rise from logistical purposes, packaging, for example. And by having a tool like this, not only would they be more eco and environmentally friendly because they're not shipping off things to be returned, but also they could be reducing costs. It also demonstrates a huge shift in the way that consumers are shopping and the expectations of them as well. So I feel like if you have any clients in this industry, it's definitely something that they should be looking at adopting. Google are rolling that out in the US first, but I did want to make you aware so you can be ahead of the game. With that in mind as well, it's worth noting that over the pond in Canada, there has been some legislation that's been announced around AI companions. And this has come at a really good time. Obviously, we've seen some really negative things in the press around people relying too heavily on ChatGPT as a companion. And Sam Altman has said that they are going to put in age restrictions on certain aspects by the end of the year. However, with that means that over 18s can access things like erotic information. So if you do have an AI policy in your practice, and just like you have with your websites where people can only access certain sites, certain things are not allowed, I would also include that within your AI policy or however you communicate that with your team. So bringing news from over the pond to the UK, the trend we saw over there around people like Elon Musk was that politicians were getting involved with AI, and it is no different here. So Rishi Sunak has been employed by both Microsoft and Anthropic to be a senior advisor. Now, this isn't as weird as it sounds because Microsoft does already have a lot of people in government that they are working with, but this is more of a formal and contractual agreement. Anthropic, if you haven't heard of them, are a huge competitor to OpenAI. And what's interesting is that it just now means that Microsoft and Anthropic now have a little bit of insider intel into the UK government. Now, while some people find this pretty terrifying, this actually could be a really great opportunity for the UK to get ahead and ultimately lead the conversation in terms of the policy and AI adoption that we see in the country. So what can we expect? Well, I would definitely say a much faster movement on AI regulation that we see adopted. And this could be things like in audit, for example. We're also going to see, well, let's face it, advisory opportunities opening up in abundance in tech. And that could also mean that your clients expect it from you. So it's now time to decide, is it something we want to offer as a practice? Do we have contacts that we could outsource to, potentially get referral fees, etc. from? And a really great reminder that actually tech, policy, government and AI is all very, very much entwined. Just make sure that you stay curious, you don't shut it down, and you keep your ears to the ground in case any policies do change that are going to impact the way that we work in finance. And finally, very, very specific to our industry, we have to talk about Deloitte. Now, Deloitte have hit the headlines for two completely opposite reasons in the same day. Number one, very positive, rolling out AI to every single employee. That's 500,000 employees worldwide. Number two, they've just been fined 10 million Aussie dollars for fake citations that they had in a report. So unfortunately, they came up with some fake sources. So whilst these large corporations and organizations are releasing AI into the wild, it feels like they're rushing to do it so quickly that they're leaving behind things like the risk of hallucinations, the verifications, the safety, and the governance that is very, very important. So for me here, there's a huge difference between adopting and understanding. So we could race to adopt certain technology, but the more we roll out, the quicker we do it, and the larger volumes that we roll out to, it obviously amplifies the risk that's associated. So yes, we can adopt, but do we understand? Do we understand the risks, and how do we mitigate them? Now, from what I've seen with Deloitte, they have come across this. They have said, you know what, it's really bad, but the benefits, the positive side of AI way outweigh the risks and the issues that they face. Another thing I would say here is that just double check contracts, double check that the liability clauses that you've got in place with your clients and also your suppliers are airtight, because it's really important that you know the information that you're receiving into your practice is not created by artificial intelligence, or if it has, it's been checked. And similarly, the information that you're sending out has the same
A few moments later.
Restrictions. Has the same restrictions on those clauses, if that's what I was saying. Your clients will be looking at you as a safety net, not just for finance, but for governance on a lot of these things as well. And there we have it. We made it through our first Friday. I'm looking forward to getting back with you all next week, and I hope you found it useful. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all soon.